So, I know many of you are looking at the title and you're like, oh my god, did Chibi just put a video up on Classroom of the Elite? Yes, I did, after so many recommendations, like countless amounts of recommendations. I think it even became a meme pretty much at this point. After so many recommendations, I have finally watched the first 2 episodes of Classroom of the Elite. And I feel like it's a good amount of, episodes to kind of get a good understanding of what this series is about. And so, I'm here to give you all my first impressions. I finally, like I said, got around to watching it, and so I'm not up to date. There's currently 5 episodes out. I'll watch those later today, but for now, though, I just want to give my first impressions on this series. So, basically, Classroom of the Elite, it was a series that has been constantly recommended. Throughout this entire season, there's been just so many of you Chibis are like, hey, stop what you're doing, go watch this, go review it. And I'm like, okay, I hear you. And I just kept pushing it back, because I didn't have the time, and honestly, I was a little bit lazy. And I finally got around to sitting down and watching it today, this morning actually. And overall, I went in with low expectations, because the reason why is because I didn't want all the recommendations to get me, overhyped and then be completely disappointed with the series. Okay, let's take an example. Everybody's telling me, holy shit, this is a masterpiece. I go in thinking it's a masterpiece. I watch the first episode, I think it's trash. And that wouldn't be good. And so many people be like, holy shit, Chibi, you got overhyped and now it's not that good. And, I didn't want to feel like that. I went in with very, very low expectations, because I just did not want to be disappointed at all. And honestly, I really had no idea what the series was really about that much. All I knew was that it was a classroom of elite kids. That's it. That's really all I knew. And oh yes, the snafu comparisons. That's the only thing I really knew about this series. Besides that, I went in blind. So, I watched the first episode, and overall, in terms of the way the structure of the episode was, it does have a very similar feel to snafu. Now, I just want to briefly do an FYI. I love snafu. I know many, if you are aware of my issues with this series of snafu, I'm going to kind of talk about it. A long time ago, I used to review snafu and all that. I reviewed, the series. I actually put up a lot of reviews for it, and then the company that actually had snafu came in and took down all my videos. I was very salty and upset, and I just was weary, and I stayed away from the series, so I never completed my reviews with that series because of the company that took it down. I just didn't want to get another copyright strike. But basically, the point is, if any of you think that I have an issue with snafu, I don't. I actually love snafu. I love the series. Just because I didn't finish reviewing it does not mean I dislike it. So, that doesn't mean I'll automatically, hate this because I didn't, finish snafu. I love snafu, and so if something similar to snafu, most likely I'm going to enjoy it. And so, this first episode, like I said, is very similar. It reminds me a lot of the vibe of snafu, especially when it comes to the characters, the inner monologues, how they interact with each other. There's just so many things here and there with the characters that are very similar to snafu. And I could definitely see why many would compare it to that. However, throughout the episode, there is a lot of things that are very eerie and stereotypical as well for the genre. I mean, I'm used to watching series kind of like this. I've seen a lot of anime to where you have it to where these classic kids, they're going to a prestigious school, and then all of a sudden, everything is flipped on its head, and they realize that they're pieces of shit. They're the lowest tier amongst the class, and they have to fight for the top. It's something I have seen a lot in anime. It's definitely not something original. I'm just going to completely be honest there. However, in terms of the character interactions, that's what really made the episode good. It wasn't actually the plot. It was actually the structure and the way the characters were and how they interacted, and also the way the first episode introduced them. I especially love the main male character. He is definitely someone, like I said, reminds me a lot of the MC from Snafu. And the way he was talking in his mind and how he, fucked up his, introduction to the class, he's like, oh, I messed up and all that. I just like it. I like how mellow he is. He seems like he lacks emotions, but you can see that he does have them. I don't know, just the way the voice actor delivers the character's lines does a very good job with the character. You can see he's putting a lot of life into the character, even though the character does sound, lifeless. It's still a nice performance from the voice actor and all the other characters as well, but I especially love the MC and the way his character is being presented. Now, speaking of the main female character, overall, her character, she reminds me a lot of also of the main female character from Snafu. So, like I said, there's a lot of comparisons here, and there will be a lot of comparisons to Snafu in this first impressions. And I will say right now, in terms of just the way the characters, their personalities are, a lot of similarities, but there is some things throughout this episode that also caught my attention when it came to actually some things being set up with other characters. Like the one, you know, I guess bubbly girl that wants everybody to be friends. I don't trust her. I instantly do not trust her. I don't. I don't trust her. Now, I'm not saying everyone like her is going to be a bad person. However, I've seen too many anime, I've seen too many series like this, to where usually a character that wants everybody to be friends is usually the character that wants to rip everybody apart for their own ideals or what they want. And because of the type of school this is, for instance, this is a school to where it's the classroom of the elite. People are trying to move up in the rankings and become high tier in society. Basically, someone like her interacting with everyone, it's a good skill to have, a good social skill. I mean, you definitely need that when you're in society. However, the way she's able to interact with others and sneak around and manipulate people without them really even being aware of it, for instance, how the meeting was set up in episode 1, I just don't trust the character. She just seems like a character that's acting all nice. She's probably going to be that type of character that's going to be very nice for many, many episodes. Like, I want to bet you she's probably going to be nice till probably episode 5 or so, or 6, and then everything's going to be flipped and she's going to reveal her true colors that she's a scumbag. Or I could be wrong and she could be a very good person. Who knows? However, just the way the episode put a lot of emphasis on her character, wanted to put a lot of focus on that, and her good personality, I just feel like she's that type of character that's willing to use people to move up and give her a better status in society. That's what I feel. Now, speaking of the characters, there's a lot of characters in this series that seem to have some obvious character flaws. For instance, our MC, like I said, he is someone that doesn't seem to really have a lot of emotions or how to express himself properly. He lacks friends, he's a loner, and also he has a very weird score when it comes to school. He always gets 50%. Now, this is getting into episode 2. He always has 50s on all his tests, like he's 50% on everything, and it's really weird, and it makes you question, like, why would he go so far? He says it's a coincidence, but it's definitely not a coincidence. That's fucking lying. Now, like, the man's straight up lying to our face when he says that. So, I'm just kind of curious, why does he do that? Is he like that type of dude that's a glass half full type of dude? Like, he just only does it half way and then he's just done? Or is he just a guy that loves to be the jack of all trades but master of none? Is that what he wants? Because clearly it shows that he's very intelligent and he definitely does a lot of different things. I mean, there was focus in episode 2 showing that he trains. He does a variety of things. Even though he's never been in a club, he obviously does a lot of things, and he's very good at things. He excels at a lot of things. If he was probably to put a lot of focus into one subject, he would probably be insane, but he doesn't, which is, like I said, the very curious thing about his character. So there is some form of flaw to his character, and I'm very curious to find out about that. And then also the main female character, there's a flaw with her too. She thinks that everybody's already failing before she even speaks with them or even gives them a chance. She feels like they're going to burden her. And so with the way her character is, that's, once again, a very obvious, like, correlation to Snafu. Like, there's similarities there. So, overall, I think Classroom of the Elite, the reason why many are probably recommending this series to me so much is because I believe by now most of you Chibits know what I like, what I enjoy reading or watching, and I feel like many know that I would love this type of series. Even if I don't review it, I feel like many of you are very aware that I love series that have smart characters, inner monologues, and also characters that are kind of different from the normal, like, comedy-based series, especially around school life. And I have to say, you nailed it right on the head. Yes, I do like these type of series. I love these type of series. However, I've also seen these type of series go into the shitter. I've seen that happen. So, I'm not saying that this series is grade A 10 out of 10 yet. However, the first episode is definitely promising, and the second episode is even better than the first episode, in my personal opinion. Now, like I said, I will watch episode 3, I will watch episode 4 and 5 in the next episode, but I just gotta see where it's gonna go. But I am glad many of you recommended me this series. I'm just surprised this got so many recommendations compared to some other things in the past that I kind of skipped over and didn't talk about. That's what really just surprises me. Like I said, I know many of you know what I like, and I'm assuming that's why so many recommendations for this. It's very surprising that other series that I passed over has never gotten this much in terms of recommendations before. So, I don't know. Anyways, I gotta say, I'm glad I watched it. It was definitely not a waste of time, and I did have fun. I had fun watching. I won't even lie to you. I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what will happen next in episode 3. I also love the entire scoring system as well. I actually want to talk about that before in this video. I love the scoring system of Classroom of the Elite. I like how all the students are given money and all that, and then they have to work up the points to get money back to be able to even survive and live. That is a very interesting part about the series, and what really got my attention is because it teaches these kids how to handle their money, how to handle how they, you know, have, I guess, necessities and wants. They can have to shuffle it back and forth. They need to know what they need to buy and what they can't buy right now. Even though they have a lot of money, they need to focus on priorities. And I like how the episode showcases this, how people were getting very lax. They were sleeping in class. They were just, you know, being lazy, skipping class, buying devices and stuff that they don't really even need. And then when things came around, they're like, oh, I don't get my money. I'm not getting free money. And I like how this class is actually teaching you responsibilities. For instance, nothing is free. If they're going to give you 100,000 yen, there's obviously a catch. No top-tier school is going to give you that much money without a catch. It's common sense. No organization is going to give you that much money without a catch. So, with that being said, the kids made a very fatal flaw, and I like how it's teaching them that you never should think that, oh, just because you're handing money, that's just it. There's definitely always something behind the scenes that you need to think about, and so there is a lot of life lessons to be learned from Classroom of the Elite. So I'm going to end it here. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.